Welcome back to the show. I have a special guest here who, I'm not going to yab him yet, but it's good to see him after such a long time. He's one of those people who, interestingly, is still sort of killing it in the industry, but you almost want to call it a legend because of how much he's done. Joseph Benjamin is here. How you doing?
I'm doing very well, man.
I don't know if what I said makes sense, because
Yes.
you've done quite a bit.
Oh, yeah.
You know, but you're also still quite young in the industry. How were you able to achieve that where, you know, when the Nollywood story is told, you're definitely a part of it and still have a lot to do? Did you start so early?
Yes, I did. Thankfully, I started early, as far back as '95. You know, days of Tales by Moonlight. You know, those were my early days, and from then, of course, I started building the career and moved into doing television series and all. And someone I give a lot of credit to, God bless his soul, he's no longer here, died last year, Lloyd Weaver. He used to own a studio back in the day in Ikeja on Obakran called Swift Studios. That's where I got my early exposures. And of course, from there, met with a lot of veterans who are no longer here, like the likes of Paul Emema, who produced Behind the Clouds from back in the day. So there was a series, a pilot he did. Julius Yagu was my brother at the time. So like, you know, so the journey had started from there and, you know, started moving forward, of course. And not until the likes of Tinsel and Project Fame did I start getting that recognition, and people started noticing me and wondering, where did he just pop out from?
Yeah.
You know, but we've been there grinding for a while, of course. And then, you know, every other thing. Yes.
How did you get on Tales by Moonlight? I feel like it was all our dream.
Right.
How did you do it?
Oh my goodness. How did I think it was a thing of desire. So, of course, growing up watching Tales by Moonlight from back in the day then, and then you say, wait, I think I would love to be a part of this. Where do they do it, you know? And then for some reason, I remember then I said, okay, then I realized it was at NTA. And closing credits, which is always good to watch those closing credits. I saw one of the producers' name, Marcelina Iheanacho. I'm like, okay. So thankfully, this fateful day I went to NTA.
On your own?
On my own.
Really?
And said I was looking for Marcelina Iheanacho. She's a producer on Tales by Moonlight. They're like, what do you want? Why do you want to see her? I said, I would like to be on the show. And she was like, okay. She loved my boldness. And from there, she said, okay, come and audition for this. And I auditioned, and next
You hadn't
day...
done any acting before that?
Nope. Because I think it was after Tales by Moonlight I then got my first movie role in '95. You understand? She said, come, and I featured in 2 episodes on Tales by Moonlight. I acted out the stories. I never wore those costumes. Those things were hot.
What did your parents have to say?
Oh my
Family.
goodness! But I was a local champion when that thing aired.
Yeah.
They were very proud of me, you know, and it's something that, of course, everyone around me have always known that I've had a passion for this.
Yeah.
So those were the building blocks for what we have today.
Yeah. So you always knew you were going to be an actor?
I always knew I was going to follow this path.
Is there a family history with it, or it just so happened?
There is none, but I would say my mom, who at the time was an eclectic collective music, kind of like opened me to the entertainment industry. And of course, those days when television was still television, we used to enjoy watching a lot of these foreign content and all. And from that point, I started developing, soaking it in. I used to stand in front of the mirror and, you know, talk to the mirror and assume that was an audience and all of that. And yes, you know how these things they say, like, you know, your mind first goes to a place where you've desired, because you can't effectively position yourself in a place where your mind has not first gone to.
Yeah.
So my mind had done the journey before
this.
You even got
yes. There, yeah. So you also became sort of the typecast romantic guy for a while. Whether it was TV, whether it was movies, you know, the fine boy who falls in love or gets heartbroken or breaks a heart or whatever it is. But all of those love stories, you know, happen quite a bit as well. Was that a problem for you? Seeing how the industry at the time, of course, was not as big as it is now, where there's a lot more diversity and people are exploring more stories. But I mean, it was what you got at the time, or was it something you enjoyed?
To be honest, like you said, it was what was available at the time. And were you true to form? Yes, I was true to form. So it made it even more difficult to run away from typecasting because you're giving that material and you deliver. Okay, you're a perfect expression of what is required. So, and of course, at the time, we're still what we were the genre that we were very strong with exploring was. Love stories.
Yeah.
You understand? So there was no going away from that. It was either the love stories or something that had to do with, I don't know, had something that had to do with glamour and all of that. So those were the options that were available at the time. And of course, everyone wanted to be the fine boy there, the correct guy.
I was going to say, because it's also a very tough place to be. And I say this as weird and as cheesy as it might sound, but there's always this talk of who's going to be the next lover boy, and who's the next Ramsey Noah, who's the next RMD. It's almost like there's a train of that, and being able to be in that circle is quite hard I want to believe sometimes for people like you. But I want to take it away from that now, because you are what I might call it a triple threat, and TV presenting sort of showed up. For us at least, we're like, oh, okay. And then you held it down on some of the biggest stages. How did TV presenting come into the mix for you?
Something I always wanted to explore, and thankfully I'd been doing a lot of voiceovers for TV commercials and radio commercials, and of course, sort of like honing the skills there, and then I heard that Project Fame was coming to Nigeria. At the time, I was still on Tinsel. And so I said, okay, why not give it a shot? So I went, auditioned, I think at the time, or no, I had not auditioned for it at the time. I heard he had come, and then I was asking who was going to be the host. I was asking some of my contacts in there, and they said it was going to be Dare and Funlala. I said, okay, makes sense. Dare is a product of Project Fame, South Africa. Bringing it here makes perfect sense to just, and I'm like, yes. And then the next season, somehow, I just randomly, when you talk about perfect timing, I'm being led. I just randomly called the producer at the time. I said, oh, sir, I don't know, I was just calling to say hi and check up on you. Like, he said, Joseph, perfect timing. Guess what? We're actually shopping for a new host for Project Fame. I'm like, wow, really? Say, do you want to come in and audition for it? I said, of course I will. And I went in, auditioned, and the first female co-host I auditioned with was Adora at the time. And of course, eventually we became the hosts for the show. And that's how I entered Project Fame.
Yeah.
That's how the journey into Project Fame happened.
So did you enjoy TV presenting, or did you just do it because of the kind of show it was?
Because I enjoyed it. I love it, because of course I MC events, and people ask me this sometimes, that what is the difference between you MCing an event, hosting a show, or acting? I said, when I'm MCing or hosting a show, I'm true to form. I'm Joseph Benjamin. You're referring to me as me. But acting, I'm taking on
element.
You understand me, my element. But acting, I'm taking on a different character, interpreting this in someone else's name and all of that stuff. So I enjoyed every bit of it.
Yeah.
Do I miss it? Yes, I do.
I was going to ask. Then there's music.
Yes, yes.
Has that always been there?
It has always been there, Ebuka. From church, singing at church, always been in the choir, I'm in the choir. And music has always been a part of me, and I remember being part of a commercial band back in the day then. The band was owned by late Jaya Boderin's older brother, because Jaya, of course, at the time had his own band. So we had that commercial band that I was a part of, which of course exposed me to the music industry a lot more beyond church. So I actually had a broader view of music and all. And going into the studio to record my songs, I felt it was time for me to start giving expression to that side of me. So music has always been there, and it's a big part of me.
Okay, we'll take a quick break now and come back and continue with the conversation. Please don't go away.
Get with you. Don't just stand there teasing me. Now it's time to show and prove.
So how do you rank the three now in your life?
To be honest, it's hard to say. But I would say, honestly, for me, I think I would say music is first. Music is first because music is an outward expression of what goes on the inside of you, okay? And for me, music is therapeutic. You know, people should listen to your music, and there should be something that they connect with. They should be able to hear. They should be able to. You should be able to sensitize, help people, teach, and all of these elements. You know, so for me, music is deeper than just getting into the studio and recording. There's a message. It's a movement. It's something that is deeper than just singing.
Yeah.
So music, for me, I would say it's first, and because this is not fair.
I was going to say, your actor friends are like, whoa, really?
No, because I'll say music and the acting are on the same level. I would say that because they both coexist. You know, yes. So
Fair enough.
Yeah,
Fair
yes. Please.
It's not me.
I don't know.
But then, so it looks like, I mean, Joseph Benjamin was everywhere, movies, TV. And then for a lot of people, it looks like he just sort of dropped off the face of entertainment here. I mean, we started seeing you appear in things internationally. But for a while, it seemed like you just went off the radar. Was that family related? Was it a personal decision? Or did work stop coming? What happened?
Work was going real fine. It was a personal decision. And at the time, I know a lot of people thought I had lost it. They were confused, trying to connect why I would make such a move. Like, you have an amazing career going for you here. Why would you just up and leave and go to an industry where you literally would have to start afresh? Like, what informed that decision?
What informed that decision?
Exactly. I said, I'd gotten to a point, Ebuka, where I wanted more, you know, and the industry at the time then was going through, I would say, a remodeling, you know, trying to redefine itself.
Yeah.
And for me, I felt like I had gotten to that point where there was not any more growth for me, because you are the only one who would obviously know how far you're going. And so I wanted to explore, and I'd always wanted to explore the industry out there, knowing that it would be a huge task. I'm like, okay, let me go on. People say, you have a career here. I said, look, that's the thing. I'm the career. Wherever I go, the career goes with me. It's not tied to a specific geographical location, okay? And that's how I moved, and for like 6 years.
Yes.
Yes, you know, and I literally had to start from the beginning, Ebuka, but it was good. Good in the sense that it took me away from all I had known, to make me understand that there were other dimensions to this thing that you thought you've acquired, so that you can grow. Because if you hold on to the old, there's no way you'll be able to see that there's room for improvement to become better. So that exit, kind of like that break, helped me grow.
So what was that experience? I mean, because obviously you wanted to go there and, you know, hopefully become this Hollywood star. You featured, like I said, in a few series and all of that. Was that a good enough experience for the amount of time you went, for the timing of when you left? Do you look back and be like, yeah, I think that was great?
Yes, because I do not regret it. It was a good enough experience because it has opened my mind to so much more. And it helped me also break away from that mentality of being entitled, because it's something that can kill you as a creative. If you don't see that there is room for you to grow, if you feel like something is owed you. No, rather, you owe the system because you are supposed to give of who you are, okay? It's an exchange. So for me, it was a good break. It helped me see better, Ebuka. And coming back here now, of course, and the timing was very great. You know, I left at a time when the industry was going through some sort of a reshaping, and came back at a time when the industry has experienced a boom. Because all of these OTTs are here, this over-the-top platforms. So there's a lot going on in the industry now. So it's a great time to be here. I enjoyed the break.
I'm talking about the experience there, because, you know, we hear from a lot of actors there, even black American actors complain about the fact of, you know, there's never any roles for them. Yours is even layered with the fact that you are international, probably with an accent that they're trying to say, okay, does it fit into our, you know, what was the experience with trying to get work in that place? Because I ask this because I still hear a lot of creatives here who keep saying, I need to go, I need to make the next jump. You know, what did you experience that they should understand and keep in mind?
A lot of people have been asking me this question, and I say to them, be prepared to put your all in, and you will face some opposition in a sense, just by virtue of who you are, what you represent, your ethnicity, okay? And there's an ideology already that you are disadvantaged, coming from where you're coming from, because the African Americans who are over there are already looking for these roles that you're coming to try to displace them off, So, and someone said something to me when I was leaving here. He said, Joseph, there are 1,001 African Americans who are casting for maybe that specific role that you're casting for as an African American. The truth is, casting would rather go for that one that is authentically and organically an African American over you, unless there's something you bring to the table that they'll say, okay, let's work with. We've seen that with a lot of our African brothers there of British, a British connection, who of course played some African American roles. And he said, Joseph, what I want you to do is be authentic to you, be original. Don't lose that. That is what makes you different. When they hear you, they like it. And you know what, thankfully, quite a lot of casting directors kept saying that to me. I had to start taking dialect coaching and accent skill workshop and all of that to try to integrate myself into all of that. Of course, it's required. Those are skills you should. But they said, remain authentic to you, because you will lose essence from what you're trying to interpret when your mind is so focused on sounding a certain way. Unless it is absolutely required, give us what you can or what you see. And then if we're required to be like this, we will give it to you. So it was a bit of a struggle. So I tell those who are looking to jumping and say, oh, let me go. Be prepared to face that.
Yeah.
And also be prepared to go through a sort of restructuring, because the industry there does not know you. Even though, yes, they're beginning to consume our content here and getting familiar with our faces and all, there's already a system that is set in place there. For you to come in, do you understand? You have to go through a certain process to get there. But is it impossible? It's not impossible.
So you're back.
I am back.
So what informed the move back then?
It was, I just believed it was a good time. It was a perfect time. And thankfully, I got pulled in here by Mo Abudu, who I just finished a job with, and Mo has been wanting to get me down here for the longest, but schedule has been a problem. Okay, and so when she came to me with what we just worked on, I said, perfect timing, and also it speaks to an issue that is quite sensitive in our society today, something that is not talked about enough, okay, and which is talking about mental health challenges. I said, look, let us speak about it, because the more we speak about this, the more people get sensitized about this, and the more we can help people break away from that stigma of feeling like, no, I will be labeled a certain way.
Yeah.
So yes, that informed my decision. It was perfect time and the job came through.
When is this project out? Do we know?
I do not know, but of course it's her directorial debut, and she's looking to pursuing festivals. That's the projection. Festivals, and we'll see how that goes. She definitely has all of that. But I definitely will keep you guys informed.
Do you worry that your being away made you lose your spot?
No, Ebuka. A lot of people have been asking me this. And no, because I say to them, I have remained authentic and original and true to who I am. I did not come into the industry to be like somebody. I came in to express who Joseph Benjamin is. So there's something everyone brings to the table. So that which I bring to the table was never taken away from me. I didn't lose my spot. So for me, it helped me grow, to come back, to be better.
What did you notice differently? Yes, we know the streaming platforms are all here now, but what did you notice differently about the industry, if anything, in 6 years? Because it would be a shame if there's no difference.
No.
But what did you notice differently
Stakes
about
are
how
higher.
the industry was?
Stakes are higher. People are a lot more professional. There's a lot more attention to detail and understanding that the consumers, right, are very knowledgeable, and there's a demand for quality content. So it's either you go hard or you go home. So everyone is putting their best foot forward and making sure that, look, I have to, because these consumers, they demand quality, and if I want to make sure that I hold them, then I have to deliver. So I applaud the industry. I'm honestly, I'm so proud to be a part of this industry.
And what it's about to become.
Yes, and what it's about, that is the word, what it's about to become, because there's a shift.
Yeah.
Yes.
On a final note now, I mean, I know you have a lot of fans. I mean, you were not even in the country, and once in a while I will still see your name on Twitter. Oh, if Joseph Benjamin was, that happens a lot. So now you're back. What should these plethora of your fans be looking forward to in the next couple of months, year?
A renewed,
What are you thinking?
Well, to give them the best of me. I have come redefined, growing, okay, because we never stop growing,
Yeah.
and becoming the best version of myself. So I'm willing to bring back to them that joy that my presence has constantly brought to their homes and connect to them even more personally. Yes.
And it feels like there's a new audience that's about to be won over because, I mean, 6 years, the Gen Zs have arrived.
Yes. Yes. And honestly, let me just say this real quick. Quite a few of them are not very familiar with who Joseph Benjamin is. You know,
my point exactly.
Yes, I've had quite a bit of that in some of the places we've gone to, and of course, those who have been around for a while know me. And then, you know, I've had that look, and Joseph, yeah, I said yes, it's fine, it's okay. I understand there's been a shift.
But that's a new challenge.
Oh, it is. It is. And like I say, Ebuka, I have learned over time not to feel entitled because I feel, oh, Joseph Benjamin, been there for a while. You come back here, you should feel accepted. You should, no. I'm ready to work my way into their hearts.
Yeah.
Not feel like they should just accept me. A lot of them don't know me.
Yeah.
So I'm willing to work my way into their hearts.
Looking forward to that, man, because you are great at what you do. So I know it's about to be exciting times even more.
Thank you.
For you and for the industry.
Thank you.
All the best.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming back.
Thank you. And it's great to be back here again.
We're glad to have you. We'll take a break now, and we'll be right back. Please stay with us.
Get with you. Don't just stand there teasing me. Now it's time to show